evening.
I'd like to welcome you to the Springfield Township Board of Trustee meeting. Today is December the 8th, 2015. Mr. Burning, can you do the roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Burning? Present. Mr. Honolaw?
Present.
Ms. McFarland?
Present.
All the trustees are present.
And I'd also like to welcome, we have a couple students from Winton Woods School System, and I would like them to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. You guys want to come up front, please? You can stand right there. Okay, ready? Go ahead. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have a special guest, and that gentleman is one of the original Tuskegee Airmen. And I would like just to take a moment to read and share with you all some information about Mr. Leslie Edwards. I had the wonderful opportunity of meeting him a few years ago. I was totally unaware that he lived in our township. And he has lived in Springfield Township for over 20 years. So it was like the best kept secret, I think. And I've been so impressed with him. And I met him again at a going home celebration for a relative of mine who also was a Tuskegee Airman. And I continue to be impressed with him. So tonight we're going to recognize Mr. Leslie Edwards, Sr. Mr. Edwards was born on August the 9th, 1924 in Memphis, Tennessee. His father died when he was young, and in order to provide for his family, he spent most of his life working hard. He was a hard worker. Mr. Edwards was young when he entered the military during World War II. Even though he did not finish high school, he scored well enough on numerous tests to be assigned to engine mechanics training at Shepherd Field's Training School in Texas, where he graduated in 1942. He attended additional training in Selfridge, Michigan, and was then assigned to the all-black 477th Bombardment Group Fighter Squadron A and trained for B-52 combat orders at Godman Airfield in Kentucky. Mr. Edwards was promoted to a sergeant flight chief, and as flight chief, his unit had one of the distinctive honors of having the best safety records in the military. Mr. Edwards' unit was transferred from Godman Airfield to Freeman Airfield in Seymour, Indiana in 1945, where he also witnessed the Freeman Airfield mutiny. And this was a result of escalating racial tensions due to the segregation of white and black officers at the airfield. After the military, Mr. Edwards continued his education, earning a bachelor's degree at Salmon Chase College in Cincinnati. He worked many years at Conn's and as a federal meat inspector, and he later became the state of Ohio meat supervisor. In 2007, President George W. Bush awarded Mr. Edwards and the Tuskegee Airmen a Congressional Gold Medal. Mr. Edwards has been married for 72 years. That is awesome. And as my minister says, uninterrupted. And he's retired now, and he's devoted his time to speaking at schools, colleges, civic clubs, and churches about the role of the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II. So it is my honor for us to meet with him and recognize him, and we have a special award for him as well. So if we can come down to the front. Okay. Now, this man is mighty. You know, I've always been impressed with how mighty he is and how much when he's sharing his message, how strong he is as well. So I'd like to, we have this plaque that I'd like to present to you, Mr. Edwards. And this, again, is recognition. This is his, and then we have a larger plaque, which we will put on, post on the bridge that crosses over the Ronald Reagan Highway. And can you hold that up, please, Mr. Bernie? So if you look at that. Again, we have a hero among a lot of other heroes in Springfield Township. And we are so proud of you, Mr. Edwards, and thank you. And he also, let me tell you, he taught me how to do some line dancing. He does line dancing. He had to show me a couple moves up at one of the events where he was at. So this man doesn't let any grass grow under his feet. So again, give him a big hand.
Rise above. Much of what the Tuskegee Airmen is recognized for is because they rose above. Now, wasn't nobody any lower than Leslie Edwards, and I rose, but I rose fighting. I fought, and I'm telling all of you, keep fighting.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pet spider.
And for those students that are here, their project is a government project, so it would be good if you could maybe shake his hand and say a few words to him as well after the meeting. You could do that out there.
You have a meeting going on, don't you?
Yes.
I'm a full-time caretaker.
Yes, sir. Okay, next on our agenda is approval of minutes. Approval of minutes from our October the 13th, 2015 regular meeting. Need a motion?
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Mr. Bernie, our fiscal officer, if you can share with us the financial report.
Yes, I can. For the month ending 11/30/2015, the township expenditures were $2,233,745.56, and receipts were $238,499.42. The ending cash balance of $18,836,201.80 includes obligations for expenditures, payroll, regular operating costs, ongoing capital improvement projects, and investments. What I request is a motion to approve the receipts, warrants, payroll expenditures, updated and current revenue and reports for the period ending November 30th, 2015.
So moved. Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I just want to let everyone know that our financial reports are available for viewing at the administrative offices weekly during business hours and also on our website. They're posted each month. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McFarland.
Thank you, Mr. Vernon. Next, we have our department action and discussion items. Mr. Henningcamp, our Township Administrator, I'd like to turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Ms. McFarland. Just a couple of action items. The first is need a motion from the board to ratify our collective bargaining agreement with the FOP on behalf of our police officers. Happy to report that we did successfully complete those negotiations with the FOP, and the contract has been approved by membership in the police department. So just looking for ratification from this board. It is a 3-year agreement.
3-year agreement. Need a motion?
So moved. Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's ratified. Contract's ratified, sorry.
Next item we have 2 liquor permits for board review. The first is actually a transfer from Omnipresent LLC doing business, to Balaji Inc., doing business as Take a Break Liquor. And as I said, that is a transfer, Chief. I don't believe there are any objections to
There's no objection, no.
that particular permit. And then the second is actually a new permit, and this is for Michael Shaw doing business as the Avenue Event Center at 9625 Hamilton Avenue. And I would just, at this point, look for a motion from the board. I don't believe there's any objection to that one
There
as
is
well. Motion from the board
So
to
moved.
send our customary letter.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that's for both permits?
Both
Correct.
permits.
I would just add, it might
Let's
note mentioning that we did get some feedback one time. I think there was an individual who thought that when we go through this process, that this board is actually approving the liquor permit, and that's not exactly what our role is. So obviously, you know what our role is, but for clarification purposes, there's a very narrow field as to what we can actually have standing on to object. And I suppose technically we could object to any of them, but what we're basically looking at is the background of the individual applying or something very unique. In cases where we really don't have any of that information ahead of time, you can't object beyond the fact until somebody's actually doing something that you find objectionable, or if it's objectionable by means of some location. So I think in the email I received, I thought we didn't really go through these thoroughly, and the board is sort of willy-nilly, and that we're the ones granting them, and that's not at all what our role is in this.
Thanks for clarifying that,
Particular
because,
case,
I always say about rumors, tell on them.
Well, even if we object, they could be granted the permit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
All it does is get us a hearing.
right, that's all
Right.
it does is get us a hearing, it doesn't, that's the way I understand
We know
it.
that we've gone through this, those hearings are very difficult to win anyway.
Yes.
Correct.
The default position is that the permit will be issued. And
Correct.
we want a hearing on that matter, we file the objection. We can't stop it by filing the objection.
Right.
Right, that's what I understood.
Yes.
And Mike's correct, it has very specific statutory reasons why you can object. You must put those in your objection. It's very narrow.
Even if we believe they're going to occur, you can't object
Right.
something before it happens. So
Right.
Can't be
Gotta have
proactive in your
evidence.
objection.
Right.
some of the cases, we know we might be objecting later. Something we've talked about, I think, going all the way back to August, and this will be a resolution, actually Resolution 80 and 81, deal with the TIF amendments that we've been talking about, like I said, back, I think, every regular meeting since August. And this is to modify our TIF district. The modifications are pretty minor, but since we originally created our TIF district back, I think it was back about 13, 14 years ago. State law has changed, and we're just taking advantages of those changes to essentially gives us a little bit more flexibility as to the utilization of TIF funds. So it doesn't have a specific application and purpose, we're just modifying it for that purpose. In order to do so, it did require the concurrence of the two school districts. The TIF district is on Winton Road, but there's a portion of it that's in Finneytown School District and a portion in Winton Woods. Both of those two school districts did approve the action. Finneytown on November the 16th, Winton Woods on October the 26th. This change has really no impact as the school districts are made whole, so no impact. Great Oaks also does get notified. They don't have standing to object, but they're actually the winner here because in the past, they weren't receiving any proceeds, and in the future, they do receive a small portion of the TIF because that's one of the things that did change in state law. In order to get that flexibility, it does now include the vocational schools. So other than that, no action needed right now. Just want to mention that these two resolutions will bring to conclusion the thing that we've been talking about for the last 4 months. Similarly, there is one other item, actually Resolution 83, 215. It is a resolution to adopt a modified plan of operations and governance for our Springfield Township natural gas aggregation program. This is just part of our annual recertification process with PUCO. Each year we have to file some certification paperwork to retain our role as a government aggregator. Since we've switched brokers, that's sort of what makes this new plan of operations necessary. So that plan of operation, really, essentially the major changes is to reflect that change with the new broker. So again, no action necessary here. That's item or resolution 83, 215, which we'll deal with here in just a minute. And then by way of discussion items on personnel update, just one action or one item during the period, and that was I did accept the resignation of Michael Mondello as a part-time EMT firefighter, and the effective date of his resignation was October the 26th. And maybe ask Kim to bring us up to date with community events and programs.
Thank you. I just wanted to inform the board that we have a few upcoming events. Our next one is February 5th. Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park is bringing their performance of Antigone, and February 20th is our Daddy-Daughter Dance. March 19th is the Mom Prom. Both the Daddy-Daughter Dance and Mom Prom are actually almost sold out.
Wow,
Great.
Great.
fabulous.
Well, the board has copies of the departmental activity reports, so unless there's any questions on anything there, that's all I have.
Wow, great. Well, as Mr. Henningkamp indicated, we have several resolutions that we are going to approve this evening. The first two relate to the TIF amendments. It's Resolution number 80, 2015. It's a resolution amending Resolution number 152-2003 to declare additional public infrastructure improvements for an existing tax increment financing exemption adopted pursuant to Section 5709.73B of the Ohio Revised Code, and authorizing the execution of an amended and restated tax incentive agreement. Need a motion?
So moved. Seconded.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
The next resolution is Resolution number 81, 2015. It's a resolution amending Resolution number 158-2002 to declare additional public infrastructural improvements for an existing tax increment financing exemption adopted pursuant to Section 5709.73B of the Ohio Revised Code, and authorizing the execution of an amended and restated tax incentive agreement. Need a motion?
So moved. Seconded.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
The next resolution is 82, 2015, declaring nuisances pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 505.87 at various listed properties within Springfield Township and authorizing statutory actions necessary to abate the nuisances. Need a motion, please?
So moved. Seconded.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
And our final one is the one that also Mr. Henningkamp discussed regarding the gas aggregation plan of operations. This is resolution number 83, 2015, adopting a modified plan of operations and governance for the Springfield Township Natural Gas Aggregation Program. Need a motion?
So moved. Seconded.
Mr. Bernie?
Aye.
Mr. Honolo?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Resolution carries.
Okay. And now we're up to the part on our agenda where we have any old business. Do you all have any, Mr. Henningkamp, any old business? I mean, not Henningkamp, Mr.
I do not have any old
Don't do
business.
that.
Honor-Law. I've been talking about Mr. Henningkamp so
Talk
much,
about an
Mr.
insult.
Honor-Law. Oh, Mr. Bernie?
No, I do not.
Okay. Next, new business. Mr. Bernie? You have
I
any-
do not.
Mr. Honor-Law?
You know, the one thing I want to say is, we had a meeting last night, it was our annual budget meeting, and we went on for quite a while here discussing the township budget and temporary appropriations for 2016. And, you know, I want to say I'm encouraged, the belt tightening, the efficiencies, the cost cutting, and everything that we've done over the last several years. You can see, you know, we've gotten to the light at the end of the tunnel, and the township is in better financial shape than we were. And it goes to the voters passing the JEDS tax, which brought in an additional source of revenue to compensate for many of the revenues that were lost by some of the state cuts that we've undergone. But the thing that was most encouraging in the whole meeting was the discussion that we had on our 5-year plans looking forward and what our police and fire departments have been doing to try to increase the level of service for our residents. And, you know, maybe Rob, you could talk a little bit specifically about how it's impacting, you know, our emergency medical services and how the police department has been, you know, you've been working together. I don't know, we've had some of these discussions, but sometimes I think they're at work sessions and different things, and I don't know how much that this is out in front of the public.
Quite honestly, Joe, I don't think it is really out in front of the public.
Yeah.
You know, we've been working hard to bring this together collaboratively with the police and fire working together. And our goal is to expedite response of medical assistance for those that are in with chest pain or shortness of breath. And mid-year, and Chief Browder came to me and really with cooperation from our training division, we put together what's called an Emergency First Responder EMR program for the police. And a group was selected of 12 officers that volunteered for this training, and they spent 48 hours of intense training to learn about emergency medical services. We were taught them about CPR, airway management. They were trained in trauma and how to use trauma dressings and how to control bleeding. We taught them how to do patient assessment, and then also how to communicate with us on radio so that to update us while we're en route. But the goal is to expedite response when it's dispatched as a person with chest pain or a person having a heart attack or even a person not breathing. Our goal is to be there within 4 to 6 minutes or sooner, because beyond that, then there could be devastating effects beyond that. So with the police officers already out on the road, the objective is for them to get there quickly, initiate patient care, quick intervention of CPR and airway management in enough time to give us, and then also to communicate with us to let us know what we have when we get there. So the program's been up and running. We've already had some early success with it, and I'll turn it over to the chief to let him elaborate a little bit more.
I'll just say within the first couple hours, there was a serious motor vehicle accident and an airway issue where for years past, a police officer would have been there first without any knowledge or any equipment to do any type of quick intervention. And, I'm happy to report that from what the fire department tells us and the officials at the hospital, that without that police officer being there and knowing what to do that night, again, 2 hours after rolling out this program, it saved a life. So, like the chief said, we have had some successes, and I have no doubt we're going to have quite a bit of success with this program, and I already have another set of volunteers for this spring to go through, which will put us right about half the police department having this training. So great things are going to happen with this.
One of the things that I'm very proud of, besides the accomplishment of the collaboration, is just the fact that we're able to do this together and develop this program really to benefit the residents and the visitors to our township. We've got a great relationship, and that's unlike most police and fire departments across the country. A lot of times we're at odds with each other, where in the township here, we're embracing that partnership and that collaboration and trying to make good things happen from that. So very excited about the future and where this is going to lead.
Well, and I just want to say I appreciate your members stepping up and volunteering for this. They didn't take the approach, oh, I'm a cop, I don't need this, it's one more, hassle. And I think that, says something about the caliber of the police officers that we have, and it's important. So I just think it's something that the public needs to know. We're constantly striving to find innovative ways to make, to provide better services to the public, and it's what makes Springfield Township, a better place to live. And it's what makes you guys, leaders in the county, as other agencies look to us for, best practices and what they can do to become better. So I just want to say thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay. The only thing I have as far as new business, I had the opportunity to attend a groundbreaking at the Sharonville Convention Center. And the reason I'm sharing this with everyone, as you all know, I serve on the Convention Facilities Authority Board, and the Sharonville community and Springfield Township have continued over time to be working together as partners, and now they are in the process of developing and building a Marriott, and it's going to be called the Marriott Place. And actually, it's going to consist of about 127 beds, but it's also going to connect immediately to the Sharonville Convention Center. So for any of our viewers that may have families coming in or conventions, and we're going to continue to work with our Springfield Township Business Association as well, so that we can continue that collaborative approach. So you don't have to worry about trying to put your family out, and we don't have a hotel in Springfield Township, but we do right down the hill. We are partners with the Sharonville Convention Center. So I just think it's important for you to be aware of that opportunity as well. And the convention center in no way is trying, is competing with us as far as workshops and training and business, because they handle a larger audience than we do here. So again, just want to give everyone that FYI. And next is citizen participation. This is the point and the opportunity, if we have anyone in the audience that would like to address the township, we ask that you step to the podium and state your name and your address and the purpose. And as well, those individuals who are in the audience, if you can abstain from any type of discussion so that we may hear the individual that's speaking to us at the podium. So is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the trustees this evening?
I'm Anna Fields, Pleasant Run Farm Civic Association, 1962 Fallbrook Lane. I just want to let you know we appreciate the time and the effort you spent informing the residents about our streets and preparing the application for the SKIP grant. Thank you. I have one other announcement, and that has to do, we are bringing back the lovely tradition of luminaria in the farms on December 20th, weather permitting. If not, it will be December 22nd. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fields.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Is there anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Fields. Okay, bearing that there doesn't seem to be anyone else. Before we adjourn, I would like to just wish everyone that are viewing us this evening and those that are here in the audience, wishing you a happy holidays. This is the time when people spend time with families and have a great time together, and we're glad that you spent some time with us this evening as well. So happy holidays, and I wish you the best. And need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.